Okay, our new assignment is lyrical vision. What is that? Well, it can be a lot of things. Remember, it's your interpretation of these words. So, of course, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about music, I was thinking about song, and how we listen to something and how it has a meaning to us that might be different from our parents or our children or our partners. So everything takes on something personal. So I want you to think about a song and what it means to you. I've given you a list of songs in here in the book that I would like you to work from. Simon and Garfunkel's Kodachrome, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Shop Around. I kind of picked classic stuff, but going down we have Pharrell Williams, Happy, some Paul McCartney and Wayne and Beatles stuff in here. Adele, so that's more contemporary. Green Day, American Idiot. So I'm guessing that you're going to find one of these songs that maybe has some meaning to you. Now, if you want to use a different song, you need to check in with me before you start the project. So send me an email with the song and maybe a link to the music so I could go take a quick listen to it. I want it to be something that strikes for you. The quote in the book is, "A work can do many things at once. And it doesn't have to be just about the world. It could also be about photography. It could be about perception. It could be an exploration of the medium. It could be a document. It could be visual poetry. And it could be a formal exploration all at the same time." And that's a quote by Stephen Shore. I thought that worked really well for this project. Take a look at album covers. Not all album covers have the band on it. Sometimes they're metaphorical, relating back to the music that you're looking at. Think about making music for your eyes. So you could play with long exposures and create something dreamy. It doesn't have to be representational. You guys know one of my favorite photographers is Lea Friedlander. He did a series of jazz musicians. Chase Jarvis, if you don't know Chase Jarvis, he's a contemporary photographer. He did a bunch of album covers during his career, and he's still making stuff. He's the Creative Live guy. Pete Turner did album covers of jazz, and Man Ray in 1972 did a cover for Rolling Stones. What I want you to think about is creating a mood for your songs. Remember that light and color and mood project we did a couple of weeks ago? Think about that. It's going to help to add impact. Does your composition need to be simple or chaotic? Well, it depends on the song. So you guys got to think through. So I would probably get out a piece of paper and jot down some ideas and then try to illustrate it through your photographs. Do you need to show motion in the image? What happens if you alter the white balance? Now, we know sometimes that's really bad. Some of those food shots that were too yellow, not appealing. But yellow can add warmth to an image. So think about that. Blue is cold, so if you want a colder looking image. Use lines to draw us through the image. So you're going to pick one song that speaks to you and photograph it, illustrate it visually for us. Let's look at some photographs. See you here in a second. Okay, let's look at some work. So this comes straight out of the book, pages 69 and 70. Take a look. Think about a song you're inspired by. This is an illustration of The Boxer from Simon and Garfunkel by Matthew Kent. And you can see he's added some of the lyrics. So if you want to add lyrics to your images, go for it. You can type it in, you could handwrite it, and rephotograph it with it. Here's another one, A Kiss to Build a Dream, Louis Armstrong. And you can see the photographer there, Bressler. These are just common people, but you can see that it's an effective photograph. Look at the composition, look at where things are cut off, where they're not cut off. It works. So how can you portray lyrics through song? So think about how you might use your technical skills to do that. Do you need a long exposure to show some movement? Do you need great depth of field? Do you need shallow depth of field? All the things we've been talking about for the entire semester. And high ISO, super high ISO is going to give you lots of noise. Low ISO, no noise. Maybe you could play that to your advantage. But make good exposures no matter what. So this is Charlie Watts, drummer of the Rolling Stones, met up with Man Ray, very famous photographer, and had Man Ray design an album cover. So the 82-year-old artist agreed and produced a design of the 5 faces of the Rolling Stones inside black circles on a white background. And he said the inspiration was the song titled Tumbling Dice. So look at things like that. It could be more literal, but yet not. I like how these images are just kind of cut and pasted together on here. Explosions in the Sky. Waiting, in the title of the track, So Long, Lonesome. Dog is eating in the background here. Echoes. Very nice photograph, very moody, very shallow depth of field. It keeps my attention. It's Your Voodoo Working by Charles Sheffield is the song, and this is the photographer Carl Phillips. As a photographer and someone who makes images, I don't listen to a ton of music, but when I do listen to music, I'm very singular in what I listen to. When I was in grad school, I listened to the Beatles' Abbey Road for 2 years straight. Every time I was in the studio, I just put on the CD and it'd play over and over and over and over again. And it became part of the music. The music became part of the work that I was working on. Another album I listened to in the same way was Sheryl Crow's Tuesday Night Music Club. So anytime I was in my darkroom working, that would be the background music that I would be listening to over and over and over again. 10,000 Maniacs, The Unplugged was another one. So that's just part of how I work, but I know many people are very inspired by the music that they listen to. One thing I worry about with students is when you guys get outside into the real world and you've got your headphones on and you're photographing, it's a barrier from what's happening around you, so it becomes more of a safety issue. But while working at home, go for it. Lots of music. Andy Burroughs' Hometown, and then music has always inspired me to create. I find myself scribbling down meaningful lyrics on the margins of pages. Are any of you musicians? How could you depict one of your songs through imagery? That might be something interesting to think about. Notice the lines drawn on the face here, up through the hand, down the neck. Here is a list of songs about photography, so you might want to grab that up, do a screenshot. Go check it out. The Animals, House of the Rising Sun. Once again, a little bit of the lyrics added in here. Notice on the bottom right, very subtly, it says photo by, and I can't make out the name of the photographer there, but 2012. So something you might think about. I like it when it's subtle like that and not overpowering. We don't want to look first thing at your signature. We want to look at the photograph. We want to spend time there, not spend time on who you are, but it's important to know who you are. So Here Comes the Sun, Beatles, photographer, unknown. Bob Dylan, Ballad of a Thin Man. So you can see a wide variety of things going on in these images. Revolution. A slow shutter speed. So where he's sitting for more seconds than where he's walking. So that is created in camera. Nothing But the Sky and Feel So Free. A travelogue of smooth ambiance and moody escapism for their 5th album. And this is Chase Jarvis. If you don't know Chase, go look him up. West Montgomery Road Song. Photographed by Pete Turner. The Ohio Players, Honey. So this was off of a list of, I think, 50 best album covers. This was number 4. Taylor Swift, I liked it because it was a Polaroid written on by hand. So if you take a Polaroid, you can rephotograph it with your camera, your iPhone, whatever, and have some fun. So you can push the boundaries of the traditional photograph. I like that handwritten with a big old Sharpie on there. Lucinda Williams, Cartwheels on a Gravel Road. The pink print. Simple. So white and then whatever that pigment is. Crushed into pink, fingerprint crushed into pink powder. Works. This was a shot made from some riots, civil rights era, so it was an appropriated photograph. But we've had some protests, and maybe you were out photographing them, so maybe it kind of would fall into something that you could alter and add a piece of contemporary photography with it as well. Hotel California. I love that album. And how do you not finish with Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA? That is Bruce, but it could be anyone. So just think about how to illustrate the lyrics. So basically you're expressing your emotions in an imaginative and beautiful way. Envision, of course, is being able to see, or the experience of seeing someone or something in a dream or trance. I kind of like those definitions. What is music to you? These are just questions. I always start off by asking myself questions and spend some time thinking about how I want to get to my end image. Also, I like this for a vision as well. A person or sight of unusual beauty. So that's where I'm going to leave you guys right now. Go out, pick a song here. If you don't want to use one of mine, send me what you do want to use so I can follow along and make some fantastic images. Lyrical Vision.